大家好，
各位欢迎收看今天的茶余饭后节目，我是李斌，
我是文清华。
观众朋友，你有没有觉得，就是我们今天在我们摄影棚里面是星光灿烂呢？我们请到好莱坞的大导演到我们的现场来，
特大级的导演，
对，Richard Rush。他是那个好莱坞的著名导演，在好莱坞从事影业工作呢，已经30几年了。他在1981年呢有一个秀叫《Stuntman》，也就是中文说是叫替身。这个片子呢获得奥斯卡的5项不6项的提名，
其中还有导演啊、
导演
制作的那种写作，
对，是的，是非常轰动的一个大电影。
还有另外一部就是，
还有另外最近的一部大电影呢叫《Color of Night》。对
，Bruce Willis 跟 Jim Marsh 一起演的，
是的，是非常非常。我想观众朋友对那个 Jim Marsh 的一定非常非常熟悉，因为 Jim Marsh 呢在那个电影就是跟梁家辉一起演的一个叫《情人》里面扮演一个非常重要的角色。所以呢，我们今天非常欢迎 Richard Rush to come to our show.
Hello,
Richard, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much.
你好。
So tell us something. Tell us Let's start from the Stuntman because that's such a classic movie.
Thank you.
In the Hollywood. So. This is a movie about the stuntman's replacement for the stars, right? Stuntman.
Right. A movie about a young man who is a fugitive from the law.
Right.
We don't know what his crime is, but he stumbles on a movie company and is given a chance to hide his identity by posing as a stuntman. He's not really a stuntman, and he has to perform these incredibly dangerous feats. One more dangerous than the next, until he starts to believe that the director is going to kill him so that he can get his death on film. Actually, that's what attracted me to the movie, the fact that it's a great metaphor for the way we all view our lives, a very limited view of the truth. And because we don't know what's really happening, we tend to grow paranoia.
Right.
We invent enemies to test our strength against. We invent gods to protect us from the enemies. And we grow more paranoid every day in the fear that the gods aren't really on our side.
That's right.
In the movie, it's true that the director was really going to kill him, right?
That's
no,
not really the case.
Well,
Although
actually,
I shouldn't say that because we try to keep it open enough to where the audience can decide for themselves.
So in the movie, you wrote the script yourself?
Yes, with a collaborator, Larry Marcus. But yes, I did the screenplay with him.
Yeah, so in that movie, the stuntman, everybody loved it so much because, for us, we interpret it in a different way. So we think that in this movie, because we always see Hollywood as a very mysterious place.
Right.
So by looking at that movie, it makes us to feel that Hollywood is only illusion. It's not real. It's not a true life. So maybe that's a byproduct I see,
Yeah, no, I think you're quite right. I know when I was designing the film, I had seen many great old films about making movies, but they were all things like Sunset Boulevard, where it was in the grand old days of the dramatic. Yeah. And I know the way I had been making movies was more like a commando group, guerrilla warfare, out there in the streets getting the shots we need.
Right.
And I thought we should show that kind of view of contemporary movie making and what the battles are really about while we were at it.
Right. So you said you're in the Hollywood 30 years, right? About 30 years?
Right, about 30 years.
So how many movies you made?
I've made a dozen. That is, I've directed a dozen.
Yeah.
I've written about 10 and produced about 8.
Why in the 30 years you only produced 12?
Right.
Now, why don't you do the mass production, like one show every year?
Yeah,
or
for a director
2 or
to
3
be in the
shows
field
every year.
to be 30 years.
Right.
Because I find that it takes the studios about 5 years or so to say yes to one of my projects.
That's why my question arises. Do you have a personality problem? Are you hard to work with, or?
No, the opposite. I'm very easy to work with.
That's what I thought too, talking to you.
The actors love me. I love the actors. That's probably why they love me. But, and my pictures tend to make a lot of money. But
So why?
I get a lot of offers. After I make a movie, every studio is offering me projects. And I look at them and I read them, and I usually have one that I've been working on, that I've created. And I think, gee, I like mine better. That's the one I want to make. And unfortunately, mine are usually unusual. They're not the general run of material. They're more difficult, more dangerous. And so it takes a while for the studios to get the grasp and go with it.
What is your favorite? Is that the Stuntman your favorite show?
Of my pictures, yes, definitely it is.
You brought this show to us today, right?
I did.
Our audience to reminiscing a little bit.
Right.
Okay?
Okay,
So 我们一
let's
起来看看
enjoy it.
我们的替身。
Step right up, folks. Ride the ride of the century on Eli's killer crane. Probably all we know is that we shall die. Nothing more important than wrinkles. Oh, it makes us so scared, so crazy. We'll do anything.
The Good Sport of the Month Award.
I knew a guy once. Stepped on a bouncing Betty booby trap. Oh, stepping on it was the problem. It's when you step off, it explodes. So all he could do was just stand there.
Now listen to me. That door is the looking glass, and inside it is Wonderland. Have faith, Alice. Close your eyes and enjoy. And the fingers move. And then the hand turns.
哎呦 ，My gosh, it's stunning！ 在这个电影里面 ，Peter Otto 呢，非常有名的那个演员呢，他演了这里面的一个导演。我要问他是不是演他自己，好不好 ？So Richard, do you think Peter Otto is playing you in this movie? He's a dictator in this movie. Is any part of you in it?
If
Are you a dictator in another way?
If so, it's a very quiet dictator. But you can draw your own conclusions. The name Eli Cross, the character who he's playing, is the name that I used as a young director as a pseudonym.
Oh wow!
So,
really?
So there might be more of a similarity there than I
So it's
remember.
your dream yourself, yourself in your dream also.
One day on the set, I came to work and Peter came and showed me his costume for the morning. And I said, Peter, that's wonderful. That's exactly the way I want you to look. That's the Americanization of Peter O'Toole. And everybody was laughing, snickering all day long until lunchtime, and I figured out he was wearing exactly what I was wearing.
Oh,
he even had a little pouch made, leather pouch, exactly like the one I was wearing. So I guess I'm not the best one to judge.
好，现在我们到了那个广告时间，广告之后呢，我们再回到现场来。我们今天现场的特别来宾是我们好莱坞的著名导演 Richard Rush， 他的两部大戏叫《Stuntman》替身和最近的《Color of Night》with Bruce Willis， 还有那个 Jim Marsh 都是非常有名的。
我们现在跟 Richard 谈谈《Color
of
of Night》
对不对呀？就是这部电影了，《Color of Night》。So because when this movie came out last year, a lot of the review is very controversial.
Yes.
For this one. So what is the thing?
I'm
what
delighted,
is the thematic thing you want
delighted to say, because
Okay.
as you probably know, when the picture came out, I had fought violently. It was a major Hollywood war going on between myself and the producing company as to the final cut of the picture. And I'm not used to losing that kind of battle, but in this case, matter of fact, I should really tell you about that, because there's no way of viewing the picture without, understanding the picture without understanding that controversy. The battle for final cut in Hollywood is not new. It's probably, more frequently happens than not, but this one was particularly violent, and we had a way of settling it. We had dueling previews. Both versions were previewed, and the winning preview, according to statistical numbers, was supposed to be the answer print, their cut versus my cut. I won, so they fired me. The Directors Guild said, you can't do that. And so they hired me back, but we went to arbitration over the final cut of the movie. They hired great lawyers. I had a heart attack. You can't win a battle like that from a hospital bed, I'm here to tell you.
So what's the reason? What's the point of the argument? So it's because of the violence, they don't like this so much?
Oh no, not at all.
What is it?
It's really a matter of ego. Hollywood is peopled by, it's a high-profile industry that attracts ego-driven men who want to have a good deal to say about the final outcome of things. I understand the impulse. I'm one of them.
And you also mentioned something like having made it into a little like like a comedy.
My style is much more comedic. Yes, and when the deal that we finally ended up with was they released their version in the theaters, and it was slaughtered by the critics. I released my version on video, and it was raved about by the critics. And the premier critics in America said that it's as though everything in the director's cut had been transformed into something mysteriously essential, like gargoyles on a Gothic church. That's the New Yorker. Strange how I remember that line.
So everybody who did not see the video should go rent the video?
Yes, so that's what the picture was supposed to be. It is the video.
It was your intent.
So that's your version?
Yes, and that's the way it was
original version.
They might hate it, but at least that's the way it was supposed to come out.
So how's your experience working with Bruce Willis?
It was a delight. Bruce is, on the one hand, a major star. On the other hand, he views himself as a character actor and has all of the impulses of a character actor. He's constantly trying to cast himself in strange roles of little men with mustaches and glasses and things like that. So he's willing to go to the floor. He's willing to take big chances and put himself on the line, and that's all a director can ask, if he trusts you.
Right.
What about the Jane March?
Jane March is a delight. I've seen grown men cry when she walks into a room. And she is like a diligent English schoolgirl, totally dedicated and industrious and fiercely intense about her work. And you could ask for nothing more.
How do you interpret the violence and also the sexuality in that movie?
Well, I find that sexuality, of course, is an appetite that we all have and which we're all therefore very interested and curious about. It's very much a part of life and of living, and therefore has very much a place in our art. Violence, unfortunately, seems to be part of our character as well. If you watch two puppies on a lawn pretending to fight and grapple and chew with each other, and you watch two children bang, bang, dying.
So are you for violence?
I'm not for it. I feel that the process of civilization is to take the violent instinct in man and sublimate it into something more constructive. Nevertheless, it is very much part of the human condition, and is very much part of art and drama. If Hamlet, if Shakespeare's Hamlet was to come under the censorship code, you'd have to rewrite the third act, because there's no way it would get an R rating, Everybody dies.
Now we'll come to commercial time. After commercial, we'll come back to the studio.
我们休息一下，我们马上回来。
好。今天我们茶余饭后请到了著名的好莱坞电影导演 Richard Rush. So Richard, tell us, what is the idea, director's idea you want to express with the movie Color of Night?
Well, there's a lot. It's a murder mystery and a love story.
Right.
And this amazing love story becomes even more mysterious than the murder mystery. And that's the fun of the piece. Jane March is Bruce Willis's lover. But she is the face across a crowded room, the mystery dream girl, Quicksilver. And that's the fun of the piece to me, the fact that it becomes a metaphor for the madness that exists between men and women.
People really don't know each other, but they think they know each other.
Exactly. They never meet because we're too busy pretending. It's
Yeah.
the face across the crowded room, our
Okay.
chronic pursuit of illusion.
Thank you, Richard.
Interesting.
Thank you for
It's so
coming to the show. I'm
interesting.
running out of time, but welcome back. We'll have to have you come back.
That's a
next time,
pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
观众朋友，我们下次节目再见。
下次再见啦。